Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. It's Monday night. I'm all on my own. It's a members' show. It's the 30, and we're doing it at 9 p.m. at night because we were busy at 10 o'clock this morning. If you're in the chat, hit the like button so we know you're there. Leave as many comments as you want, and we'll read them out. You know how this show works. We'll do a little bit of football. We'll do a little bit of random stuff, anything that's come across your day or anything like that, and we fix the world in the next 30 minutes or so. So if you're in there, hit the like. And yeah, hit some comments in there on whatever you want to talk about, football or otherwise, and I will rattle through them in the next half an hour or so. Where do we start? It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between the spoofing going on around Liverpool's new manager or Nottingham Forest having a complete and utter breakdown when it comes to the result against Everton yesterday. Let's start with Nottingham Forest. I didn't see the full game yesterday. I haven't even seen the Everton goals. But I was shown a clip last night from Steve Murphy of this parish who said, check this out, here's the three pieces of controversy, one after the other, let me know what you think. And I looked at them, and I'm going to be honest, the angle of the first one where somebody gets a kick in the foot, I'm told it was Reina, then I'm told it's Nico Williams. It's not a great angle, so I don't know if anyone in the chat wants to tell me if it was a penalty or not. I'm not too sure. The second one is a attempted pullback at the back post, which hits Ashley Young on the arm and hits the ground. Penalty. Penalty. Doesn't matter if he means or not. He's far enough away from him. His arm is out of the silhouette. And that's how things are meant to work. It's a penalty. And the third one, I thought was a Stonewall penalty. And then I've kind of seen stills of the Everton foot being in there and then the Forest fella making contact with him, and you could kind of argue. And we're going to disagree on this because I can see comments coming in already. But Nottingham Forest felt extremely hard done by. And, fair enough, right? And then they proceeded to tweet out yesterday. And I'll try find the tweet so I can read it to people, just in case you've been living under a rock when it comes to football. So let me see if I can find this. But let's see what everyone thinks. Well, Garmax says everyone's an expert on all these random managers today. Of course they are. That's why I don't want to fucking talk about them, but we have to. The two tackles are penalties, says Saskatoon. I think the handball is too close. Fair enough. I think number 2 or 3 should be given. First one falls into seen and given. Okay. Is that the kick? You're not too sure about 2 or 3 should be given. Okay. Let me see. The big news from Dylan. He says, after blasting a curry chicken fried rice and have a cheeky Easter egg in the freezer, can't be worrying about Amorim and his stupid sweatpants. Right. Look at the pens Anthony Gordon won the other week, and Forrest should have had both of those. I'm going to come back to that because I think that's the key in all this. And I'll tell you why in a minute. For me, all 3 are pens. The second and third are stone walls as canters. Did anybody see the video of Anthony laughing at the Coventry players after the pens? Yeah, remind me. I'm actually gonna put a mark on that one because I'll come back to that. Forest are being led astray by Clattenburg and the obvious shit show of the PGMOL, says Dan. Happy new hairdo, Gav, says Mike. It's not a new hairdo. It's just hair grown too long and not gelled. I've had a long day walking. And then coming home to the house and all sorts going on here. So it's not that. So anyway, actually Nottingham Forest, here we go. Okay, so they're doubling down on stuff here. Brilliant. Right, so this is what they say yesterday. 3 extremely poor decisions. 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. Nottingham Forest will now consider its options. They then go on to say, which today he said, and it's a bit of a spiel, so let me just let me go through it. Nottingham Forest has today submitted a formal request to the PGMOL to release into the public domain the audio recordings between officials during yesterday's match against Everton at Goodison Park. The club has requested that this be shared for 3 key match incidents: Ashley Young's challenge on Giovanni Reina on the 24th minute, Ashley Young's handball in the 44th minute, and Ashley Young's challenge on Callum Hudson-Odoi on the 56th minute. We firmly advocate for the broader football community and supporters to have access to the audio and transcript for full transparency, ensuring the integrity of our sport is upheld. They then go on 2 hours later. Nottingham Forest, following yesterday's game at Everton yesterday, no, I said that wrong. Following yesterday's match at Everton, Nottingham Forest issued a statement highlighting our concern at the perception of the PGMOL appointment of VAR for the game. This was an issue we raised with the PGMOL. This is another spiel, by the way. Prior to the fixture, because of the fear of the sideshow that would ensue if anything went wrong with the officiating of the game. That fear has materialised, and the correctness of 3 important decisions against the club have been called into doubt. This is not about individuals, but rather how integrity of the game is seen. We know match officials do not allow outside factors to influence their decision making, and that all referees are required to declare their allegiances to PGMOL to avoid any perceived conflict or harm to the game's reputation or integrity. However, it is clear the PGMOL must amend its rule on allegiances to account for contextual rivalries in the league table, not just local rivalries. This is currently not within the criteria, but should be. So, they made a complaint. They know it's not in the rules, but now they want the rules changed. Oh, okay, cool. More reliance on match officials to recuse themselves if contextual rivalries exist invites conjecture, as some have recused themselves where others have not. Nottingham Forest stand by its request for greater transparency around PGMOL appointments to further protect the game's reputation as intended in PGMOL's existing approach to allegiances. Given the widespread and ongoing concerns, not merely of the fans, players and managers of this club, but of many others and the pundits too, over VAR decisions throughout the season, any move which boosts confidence in the system should be properly considered. Right. Let me see. First of all, I would say one, if not two of them, are penalties yesterday. Okay. Now, I did see a great tweet from an Everton fan earlier going, Everton are considering their options over because of 2 decisions made at the City ground earlier between Everton and Forest. And this is where what would you call it? The tribalism comes into football. And what happens is that you see all these decisions. Some of them are blatant. And it's like, that's a disgrace. And what happens then is people go, oh yeah, but this happened to us, so, boom, 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 suck it up. Again, it's completely and utterly wrong to go on like that. All right. The problem here is the PGMOL. They are not fit for purpose. Now, going back to the Anthony Gordon thing, which I think is the really interesting one of this, because you could argue that, does Giovanni Reina put his foot across somebody? Does Hudson-Odoi put his foot across somebody? I think what's happened here is the Anthony Gordon decision, particularly the one against, and I haven't seen the 2 of them, I've seen one, which was Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips goes to clear the ball. Anthony Gordon tackles him, misses the ball. Phillips goes to kick the ball and hits Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon gets a penalty. It's an outrageous decision by the referees. And what I think's happened here is that they've looked at that afterwards and went, lads, he's literally hampered the fella from kicking the ball. It's a free do away, but we've given a penalty. And instead of communicating that, what they've done is, internally they've said, can't give them anymore. Can't give them anymore. They don't care there's going to lead to confusion in the games down the road because they don't want to broadcast anything or throw it out there or communicate things because it makes them look bad, right? They are absolutely the problem. They have been from the start. They still are, and they will be into the future. Nottingham Forest can feel hard done by at the weekend. Nottingham Forest, you'll hear stuff like subjective, clear, and obvious, whatever you want. They've loads of little words that they can throw in and distance themselves and just get themselves into that grey area that I speak about all the time. Forest can feel hard done by. Then you have pundits, like Gary Neville telling you that Mark Clattenburg should resign his position from Nottingham Forest. Why? Mark Clattenburg is there to advise Nottingham Forest on decisions that were going against the club and how he feels about them. Okay? Should Sky ask Dermot Gallagher and Mike Dean to step down from their positions? Because they're giving Sky the fuel to put things across. No, they shouldn't. Do you like them? No. Do I like Clattenburg? No. But Gary Neville has a nerve to turn around and say anybody should step down from their position because they're doing a job which is trying to protect the football club against decisions, which are wrong. Don't get me wrong, they are wrong. But what Forest are going to do about it, considering their options? There is no option. You're going to have to play next week. Nothing's going to happen. You might get an apology. You may not. But nothing's going to happen. You're not going to game replay. You're not going to get points given back. And again, while we all argue over it and we all go, was it right? Was it wrong? Gary Neville, da, 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 da. And I'm guilty of it because I see what I'm reacting now to what Gary Neville said, Carragher, and others. But while we all do that, the PGMOL just go about the business. And I think the big thing, and I was talking, me and Steve Murphy were together today doing some work, and we were talking afterwards, and the whole Anthony Gordon thing come up, and I think we both agreed, yes, there's where the issue is. That's where the issue is, because they're making these decisions and then they aren't communicating that we might have got that wrong. So what we do is we just change the way we make them decisions in a couple of weeks' time, and then we won't explain anything. Well, Joe Public think, well, that happened a couple of weeks ago and the penalty was given. Why isn't it being given now? And it's absolutely off the chain. Off the chain. Let me read some out here. Let me see. I've no sympathy for any club who has a VAR controversy. All the clubs had their opportunity to push for change after Diaz's goal when the PGMOL admitted that it made a factual error. Yeah, but the only, like, I get what you're saying there, Chris. I'm bringing it up on screen for people to see. I get what you're saying there, but like, why aren't the Premier League like genuinely looking at this and going, right, couple of things. You're not fit for purpose, so we're no longer employing the PGMOL. Simple as that. But what we will do is we'll employ you as an individual. We will directly employ you, which means you will have to go under our rules. And our rules will be that you're mic'd up, or you come out after the game, or whatever it might be, and make them take responsibility. Until you make them take responsibility for what they're... And I don't mean an apology. I don't mean Howard Webb burning the ear off Michael Owen and mental gymnastics every Monday or Tuesday night or wherever they do it. I mean game upon game upon game. And listen, they wouldn't have to come out in front of the cameras, because if they're mic'd up, we know what's going on. That's what the Premier League should do, right? They should be told they're not fit for purpose as an organisation. And the reason they're not fit for purpose is, one, I don't think the referees are good enough, and two, the position the PGMOL hold is that they call the shots when it comes to decisions in the Premier League, not the Premier League. Not the Premier League. And like, I'll put it to you this way. If you went out tomorrow and you took on a contractor, which the PGMOL are, and you took on the contractor and you said, build me a roof on top of that building there, put a roof on top of that building, and they come back and the roof doesn't cover the building, and you go, the roof doesn't cover that building, and they go, well, it does. In their opinion, it does. What are you going to do about it? What do? You get rid of that contractor. You just get rid of them. It's not fit for purpose. You get rid of them, and they still won't do it. And that's it's going to go on and on forever, and automated offsides and whatever else. We're not arsed about offsides anymore. Offsides are working because it's technology, it's lines, it's everything else, right? And you can see it on the screen, and you can see them drawing the lines, and you can see everything, and that's fine. That's actually working. Automated stuff, even better. But until you actually bring them to task, Michael Oliver makes a decision. I think it's Michael Oliver in the Cup semi-final, Chelsea against Man City. Cole Palmer hits a free kick. Jack Grealish is jumping in the air. As he's come back down and hits his arm, it's a penalty. His arm is out. It's outside the silhouette. It's a penalty, right? It goes out. It should be a corner at least. Now, my argument here is that if Michael Oliver goes there and says to the guy in VAR, I think that's just gone through the wall. It's a goal kick. And he goes, well, no, it's hit him in the arm, but I don't think it's a penalty. You should give a corner, right? Okay? So, and people are like, and I understand the decision because it's a decision made around handball. They don't give a fuck where the ball's gone afterwards, right? They don't care. It'll just be a goal kick, right? But common sense tells you in that thing that you mic them up and you say, can you just check for handball there? I didn't think you had anyone, but the players are claiming here handball. Guy in the VAR says, yeah, it's hit his hand. I don't think it's a penalty though because his arm is coming down. Whatever, yes or no. But in the situation of no, Michael, it's not a penalty, but it has hit him. It's gone out for a corner. Restart with a corner, please, to Chelsea. Why can't we do this common sense stuff? And all this, you can't do this after this happened, and you can't do that after that happened. It's absolute horseshit. And again, it just protects them and insulates them. And that's where I am on it. Let me read out some more. Anthony is along the lines of Chris. They all had a chance to stand up with us to carry on at sports, but he chose not to. So I've limited sympathy. The PGMOL is a shit show. Yeah, and listen, I don't go down the road of, oh, it's a conspiracy against us, it's a conspiracy against them, or should it happen to us, suck it up. I don't go along with that. I go along with the fact that you are expecting an entity to do their job and they're not doing it. It's as simple as that. They're simply not doing it. And I don't care what Gary Neville, Mike Dean, Jamie Carragher, Dermot Gallagher, the guy on Twitter that knows everything about VAR, and he's really condescending, I can't remember his name, Dale, who's just turned into this condescending fella. I don't care what he says either, right? And he can tell you they're all experts and they're qualified referees and they're this, that, and the other. That PGMOL are not doing their job. End of. Because you can't go from one decision one week, a wrong decision in Anthony Gordon, and then decide that 2 weeks later, yeah, we were wrong, but say nothing to nobody, and we're just not giving it for Forest. They're wrong for everybody. And that's not me telling you to suck it up. It's not tribalism. They are just appalling. Absolutely appalling. This is the same Forest who sent Clattenburg to the press over a drop ball. Mark Clattenburg talked absolute nonsense after the drop ball in the Liverpool versus Forest game. Their owner was on the pitch, and he talked absolute nonsense. Ashley says, in fairness, seeing the outrage Forest had over the ball being given to the wrong team in air match, are we really surprised that they're going full nuclear on these incidents? I'm not surprised, but they're going the wrong way around. They should just come out and go, we don't believe the PGMOL fit for purpose. Just come out and say it. Why not? What are you going to do to you? What are you going to do to you? Bringing the game into disrepute. You have to be having a laugh at me if you think Forest are bringing the game into disrepute by going, the PGMOL are not fit for purpose in their opinion. Simple. That's it. Because who's going to argue subjectively or claim that Forest are, like, it's a clear and obvious error by Forest to say that? They can't. Cantor says, people getting carried away. Anthony celebrating in fairness, so what? He probably is trying to make a connection with the fans. If he stood there and done nothing, probably be slated anyway. Yeah, what Anthony does there is often mad. Like, the rest of the United team are kind of like, thankful we got away with that. That was nearly embarrassing. But I don't expect much from him, this fella. He's an empty head. Chris says, the same Neville who on the overlap show employed Italian sides they played were probably on performance enhancements. Is this acceptable? Employing rumour on Sky. Well, he was very careful in what he said on that overlap with regards to the Italian teams in the mid 2000s. I think he was talking about. But listen, there we go. Neville always mentions Liverpool's statement after Spurs, totally ignoring the fact that it was unprecedented and non-subjective. Yeah, Gary Neville. Let me tell you what happened there. And if you remember back, and if you think I'm wrong, go back and watch it. But what happens for me in that is the decision is made with Luis Diaz. You can hear on commentary, they know it's a mistake. They know it. And after the game, they come out and say it's a mistake, the PGMOL, and Sky lay into them a little bit. And with the snap of a finger, Neville and Carragher are literally puppets on a string since that day. And they won't let you say anything about referees, and they won't let you come out and make a statement about referees and stuff like that. That's what they are. So there's no point in really listening to them, because it's full of ulterior motives. Really is. They're told what to say. But look, that's where we are with 18 minutes in. Jesus, I was going to say we've gone on an awful lot about that, but it's only me, not you. The Liverpool managerial stuff popped up again today. And if you remember going back a couple of weeks ago, you had Xavi Alonso in the frame for the Liverpool manager job. And I haven't spoken about this on purpose and I'm only doing it today because a lot of people in our members chat were talking about it, and I said, right, we'll talk about it tonight because, you have to talk about it certain, so I can't completely ignore it. My only point on this is that, Xavi Alonso was in the frame, and all these journalists were telling you, how special Xavi Alonso is, the connection he has with Liverpool, how good he's been at Leverkusen, learning his trade at Sociedad, and they were giving it the big spiel, the long reads, they fucking knew everything. Xavi Alonso announces that he's going with Leverkusen, or staying with Leverkusen, and the next day, I honestly could have picked out a dozen journalists that had a big long read piece on Ruben Amorim, how he caught Liverpool's eye, how he stood out from the rest, how he done this, bullshit. Because, like, let's be honest, if you think Liverpool and Michael Edwards or whoever's there at the moment are going off to these journalists and going, listen, it's Amorim. It's Amorim. They're not, right? Amorim, then became the big favourite and was all about him. What is his tactics? What could be as a potential 11? Oh, Liverpool are linked with that player, but would he fit into Amorim's system? We've seen all this. And they just keep dragging you along with this shite. And then it's announced today, when I say announced, Amorim looks likely not to happen for Liverpool because West Ham are now in talks with Ruben Amorim. Should David Moyes leave the club? Should. So Ruben Amorim is walking in to an interview apparently with West Ham and Liverpool. Chats with Liverpool. And should David Moyes leave? And are we meant to take all this and just swallow it? Honestly, are we meant to take all this stuff and swallow it? Liverpool have 5 games left in the league, right? Now, it's my opinion that I don't really fucking care about who the next Liverpool manager is until these 5 games are over. I don't care, right? And we've gone from this player or this manager to this manager, and he's this, and look at this, and look at that, and now it's he's unlikely to happen. Now, why don't you just say he won't happen? Because unlikely means that he's still in the frame. That word is a nice little word to throw in. Unlikely. And then when it happens, well, it was unlikely, but last minute things changed. This is not how it works. Liverpool are making possibly the biggest appointment they've made since they made it Klopp, because it was a desperate time, I thought, that he needed something special, and he got it. And now trying to make a decision now is equally as hard. You know what I mean? And Liverpool aren't going to tell all these people this. They simply aren't. They aren't going out to say, that's unlikely. Ruben Amorim, very unlikely. Can't see it happening. Why would Liverpool put themselves in that position? Why would they be telling anyone? And Liverpool haven't opened their mouth once on this. The only person that's opened their mouth at all is Xavi Alonso, because he was linked with Liverpool and he announced he was staying at Leverkusen. Never even mentioned Liverpool when he actually done it. He just said, I'm staying at Leverkusen for another year at least. I love the club, done great, won a league, still unbeaten, brilliant. And we're meant to swallow all this every time. So what's going to happen now? What's going to happen? Is Ruben Amorim going to have a meeting? And if nothing happens, are they just going to turn around in a week's time and go, Ruben Amorim is still in for the Liverpool job? Just to keep you ticking over. Just to keep you ticking over and clicking those links and everything else. It's all bullshit. Every one of them. In my opinion, will Ruben Amorim be the Liverpool manager? I haven't a brace. I've seen names and I'm kind of going, who? Nagelsmann last week was the one. I think, was it Nagelsmann? Then he signed a new deal with Germany the next day. No, honestly, Nagelsmann was being linked last fucking Wednesday, and by Thursday he'd signed a new deal at Germany. Do you know what I mean? And why was Nagelsmann being linked with Liverpool? No, sorry, he was linked with going back to Bayern. Why was he being linked with that? Because Jurgen Klopp is out of a job and people think he's going to leave that and go straight into the German national job. Right? There you go. Arne Slot is the guy at Feyenoord, isn't he? He's being linked. Right? He's being linked. On what grounds? I've no problem with people going, I wouldn't mind him. Wouldn't mind. Jesus, he'd be good. Yeah, I like him. I've watched a bit of him. But the way these people come out and tell you, unlikely. So basically, it's literally just throw a name, go through a cycle of on, odds on, unlikely, might happen, back in, blah, 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 and then just recycle it to a new name. Someone says Tommy Tuchel. Honest to Jesus, I don't know what I'd do myself if Thomas Tuchel got the Liverpool job. I really wouldn't, and that's being honest. The same David Ornstein, who knew 100% the club was up for sale. Nobody has a clue other than Paul Joyce. Paul Joyce hasn't said a thing on it. It is the same David Ornstein, along with his friend, James Pearce, that told you that Liverpool were up for sale in the November of 2022, I think it was. It was up for sale, they were selling it, it was gone, boom, 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 and Liverpool still are owned by FSG. And yeah, there you go. FSG own loads of it. Have they sold a share in that time? Well, they sold a share, but they still own all of it. They still own a huge amount of it. Liverpool weren't for sale. All taken off the back of comments by, I think it might be Mike Gordon, about always looking for value in the market, but that's not for sale. Do you know what I mean? It's just not for sale. But look, I don't know what people think about it. That's just my opinion. My opinion is, I'm not going to give people a voice. My opinion is that when we need to know about who Liverpool's manager is, and when Liverpool are ready to comment it, they'll comment on it. But, like, you know, Ruben Amorim's trying to win a Portuguese title, isn't he? You know, I don't know what your man Slot is doing or fine. I don't know how he's doing. You're seeing names getting thrown all over the place. These players, a lot of them are in jobs trying to achieve things. And it's just every day of the week. Like, honestly, go back and look at the coverage when it was all Alonso. And then Alonso says one Wednesday or Thursday, I'm staying with Bayern Leverkusen, and watch the stuff the next day. Go back and do a bit of research on it. They're literally all over Amorim the next day. And I mean, like, I'm talking 2,000 and 3,000 word pieces on him, and how Liverpool, they caught his eye, what Liverpool rate him, what they think of him, how they work with this, as if they were sitting in a room with Ruben Amorim going, what's the crack with the Liverpool job? How will you get on with this and how will you get on with that? It's all nonsense, absolute nonsense. But look, the way it goes, you know, when we need to know, we will need to know. I've no problem, don't get me wrong, because people think I'm a bit, what are you being so grumpy over for? I've no problem with people. I'll discuss like, oh yeah, I like him as a manager, I like him as a manager. But I'm not doing it off the back of, oh, he says he's on the way, he says he's going to happen. I'm just not doing it. Ashley says, until the club announces anything, we will be linked every time there's a managerial shift anywhere in Europe. They've definitely done their due diligence. Unai Emery is one that's popped up a little bit, and I'm very surprised he's not in the mix for it. I think the way he identifies players and his style of play and stuff like that, I think he's done a brilliant job of Villa, and I think he was harshly treated at Arsenal. But again, I don't know if Unai Emery is what contract he's under at Aston Villa, but I'm sure now when Amorim, you know, basically if it's rubbished about West Ham, I'm sure he'll be back on Liverpool's radar then. You know, he's torn down West Ham because he's waiting on the Liverpool job or something along them lines. He's very highly rated. I don't know anything about him, but he's very highly rated amongst a lot of people. West Ham, maybe they send him certain promises, but I'm not too sure. But let's go and see. Come on, Gav. Enough of this football shite. Let's give out about recycling. I'm not giving out about recycling anymore. I'm really not. I don't have really any random stuff going on at the minute. Nothing's really happening at the minute. If you have any random stuff, throw it in there. We have about 3 or 4 minutes left. Liverpool, of course, massive game. Leeds are winning 4-2 over Borough, which is a really good win for them. I think were they 1-0 down? I think they were 1-0 down, 2-1 up. So yeah, it's a really good win for Leeds. I'm actually just checking it out here to see what that does to the championship. They're 4-2 up now. It means they go to 90 points, one behind Leicester, but the other Leicester and Ipswich still have a game in hand. But it kind of gives them a bit of breathing space over Southampton, who is in fourth. But it's spot 1 and 2 in the championship, isn't it? Nothing else matters. Gav, did you have a look at Baby Reindeer? I haven't got near Baby Reindeer. Shawnee was telling me about it last night, and literally I was after the podcast last night, I was falling asleep in an hour because it'd be up early for work. Would there be an emergency show if Tuchel gets it, Gav? Oh Jesus, I don't even know if I could bring myself to do a show. How's the golf going, says Kev? Yeah, it's going well. I was out on a golf course today filming something which wasn't for our golf channel, it was for our client. But I got to hit a few shots, and I have to say it quietly, hitting the ball really well. And we're recording next Monday. Again, just 5 of us going out next Monday. So we have a couple of guests, 3 new guests on the channel next Monday, which is cracking. But in the bank at the moment, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 videos there ready to be edited. So we're well ahead of ourselves. So I'm trying to mix it with doing that and doing work for myself and doing this football stuff. So there's loads going on at the minute. So I'm trying to get a video out a week. That's what I'm trying to get. So we will have a video out this week of one of the things. If you haven't watched it, Bang Average Golf, and do us a favour, hit the like and give us a comment on the videos, and just, you know what, copy the channel and just share it amongst your friends and just say, listen, this is a bit of crack, even if you don't like golf, we're having a good laugh doing it. We're okay. We hit some okay shots, we hit some terrible shots, we have some weird shots. So if you're watching now or you're listening later on, Bang Average Golf, you'll see it. There's 2 actually Bang Average Golfs on YouTube, but we're refusing the mail for the other one. And it's Bang Average Golf. It's a red, white, green and black kind of logo with a white background. So check it out. we have about 500, I think 400 or 500 subscribers, which is good for, like, taking a couple of months off. But anyway, yeah, it's really good. And as I said, type it in, Bang Average Golf, and have a look at it. Leave a like, leave a comment, but share it amongst your friends. A bit of crack. And if you play golf and you want to come play with us, send me an email, talkinkop1@gmail.com, and you get me there for that. Let me see. Anthony Kyo said he'd have more faith in Sloth and the Goonies than Arnie Slot. Seth Copley said he should go back to work. Jesus, he's still working. Oh yeah, 5:30 over there. If it's Tuchel or Nagelsmann, get Gavin me to do a reaction show. You don't like Nagelsmann. He's signed a new deal with Germany. You're safe. Tuchel leaving Bayern at the end of the season. He probably is in the conversation, but I just can't abide by him. I just think, I'm not saying Tuchel's teams, I think Bayern have been poor this year. They look like they're at the end of a cycle for me. And I've seen his Chelsea side play some really good football, in fairness, and he's tactically very, very good. I just think he's toxic on the dressing room if he doesn't get his way 100%. And I think he could upend Liverpool in a very short period of time. That's where I am on him. So that's kind of where it is. Right, I think we're done. We've covered Nottingham Forest. We've read the rights of the PGMOL. We've talked with Liverpool manager stuff. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't care who it's going to be until Jurgen Klopp manages his last game for the club. We've 5 games to go, starting with the derby on Wednesday. Big chance to go there and win, and then take that into West Ham at the weekend. And if you get out, if we can get through those, anything is possible. But look, thanks for joining me on this Monday night. If you're listening afterwards, rate and review. Let people know. Give us a 5-star review, and it helps more people listen. Apparently, Tuchel to United, says Megan. So does Madge Apple. Big Ange gets mentioned. Please, no thanks. Absolutely no thanks. Bayern, Barcelona, and Liverpool need new managers in the summer. Yeah, 3 huge jobs, says Kev. Yeah, that's true. And they'll all materialise. Like, I'd be surprised if Ruben Amorim isn't linked with Barcelona. He's in Portugal at the minute, Sometimes it's a natural step to go that way as well. Chris Brack has 3-1 to Liverpool against Everton on Wednesday night. Look, we'll see how it goes. We will have a reaction show on Wednesday, straight after the game. Usually the 3 people that are on, in Matt, Kev and Ashley, I think they're on Wednesday night. We'll find out, and you'll have all the notifications before it goes live. Anyway, we'll be there on Wednesday. We'll try to do a little bit Thursday, maybe Friday, and then back into the early game on the Saturday, isn't it? And we'll be on Sunday as well. So plenty of shows coming. Thanks a million for being members. Thanks a million for supporting us. And if you don't see me at 10 o'clock in the morning, we might do something at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll work it out. We'll bring you as many as we can. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night. Over and out.